I know. So Love by Erica said, pretty much, and I'm not laughing at what she said. She pretty much said that Creole Bay only has, she took a total deep. Not Erica. Erica, why would you say that about her? Like, I was really mad, and I felt so bad for Creole Bay at the time, because I'm like, dang, Erica, you ain't have to go there. Like, I was mad at Damien and Erica, because that was so disgusting. I was like, why would you say something about her having kids? That's tough. That's a hard pill to swallow. People out here who actually can't have kids. This is a real thing for people. So for you to take a jab at somebody so low like that, I felt so bad for her, and that literally hurt me. I was like, dang, Erica, you completely wrong for that. And Damien, why would you tell her that? Why would you do that? And I'm saying to myself, why would y'all bring these two people into y'all messed up situation when y'all know y'all was going to talk to each other again? Y'all was going to continue to communicate. Y'all was going to continue to be toxic. Why bring these people into it? So I felt sorry for the Mucker family as well as Latoya. I felt so bad for them. And then after that, Creole Bay and Crier broke up because of it. And I was like, dang. Like, I felt so bad for Crier. I felt so bad for Latoya, because I'm like, watching their videos, you like, they look good together, they're happy, and you hate that they broke up. Because if y'all would go back and watch some of the videos that they actually made, it was a good look for Crier. I actually was watching their content, both of them, as well as Love by Erica. I was watching both their content. Like I said, I was glad that they had broken up. So Crier and Latoya break up, right? So Latoya then comes on here. People want to know where she is. So she dropped the video and she say this.
Hey guys, it's me, Latoya. I'm back. I know you all haven't seen me in a while. You know, it's been a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things unfolded, and personally, I am a woman that knows what she wants. Of course, there's things that would always get in the way, and things that, of course, will try to block your happiness and everything. But with the things that transpired recently, I personally, as far as my health, my image, me and my kids, I have to exit the situation with Damien. I ended the relationship. Not all because, you know, someone came in and, you know, is trying to break us up, saying certain things about him. That's not what made me in the situation, well, in the relationship. What made me in the relationship is me being able, me trusting my significant other, my partner at the time, and for my partner to run back and tell other people my business, which I feel like my reproductive system is for me. No one in this world should be out here bashing me or making fun of me because I only have one fallopian tube. I can technically still have kids. And yes, you know, someone saying my baby's going to the toilet. I have had many miscarriages. But once again, that's not anyone's place to go and put my business out there. When I was ready to tell my story, I was going to tell my story. That is my place. So I don't know when I'm going to drop this video. I wanted to be able to just come on here and tell you all that I had to walk away from me. You know, once someone's trust is broken, it's hard to gain that trust back. And I've been through it before, and I refuse to put myself and my kids through that again, especially if I don't have to. So I thought it was best for me to walk away now rather than later. So I am officially moving on. I'm not sure when you all will see another video. I'm just lost up in the air. I'm trying to heal. I have forgiven, you know, all parties that's involved in this whole drama mess, but it's hard to forget. It is extremely hard to forget, and honestly, I can't just sit here and play a yes ma'am to everything that goes on. I just want to be drama-free, especially drama that can be prevented. All of that just recently happened could have been prevented. a baby mama and a baby daddy going back and forth on YouTube, that shouldn't even be going on. And I stepped in only to have Damien's back. That is the only reason why I wrote underneath his community post, which I didn't even bash that person. I went off what I seen, but clearly I didn't know the whole story because there was things going on behind my back that I did not know. So I'm not here to talk down on anyone or ruin anyone's character, but as far as me, my life, my goals, all of that doesn't fit within what I'm trying to reach for myself. So, like I said, I'm washing my hands with all the drama. I hope you all stay tuned to see more. But like I said, I don't even know when I'm going to record another video one day. I'm not sure when. I don't even know where to start. But I just had to get it out there and inform you all what was truly going on. And out of respect, you all have encouraged the relationship. You all have encouraged us to not let anyone get in between us. But when it gets too personal like that, ladies, I'm definitely talking to you all. When it gets too personal like that, it is best to walk away, because Lord knows what else is being told to that other person. So why hold on to that, knowing that you have to walk on eggshells around your significant other? You're not able to confide in your significant other because they might run back and tell your business. That's not how a household should be. When you are with someone, you should be able to confide in that person. Know that your information is not going anywhere. So step up, lady. Step up. Don't sit there and continue someone. We don't need no one. We don't need no one. Pick your head up, work hard, do what you have to do for you and your kids. You do not need a man. When God wants you to be with that man, he's going to send that right man. But, clearly Damien was put into my life for a reason. Well, a season. And I've definitely learned from this relationship. And this is something I'm going to be able to take into a new relationship one day. This was a learning experience, is what I'm going to say. A learning experience. And I want to tell everyone, if you're fresh out of a breakup, don't hop into a new one with your baggage. Take time for yourself. Make sure that you're over that person that you just left before hopping in a new relationship and dragging that new person. All because you don't know what you want. So take time for yourself. If that new person is meant to be yours, that person ain't gonna go nowhere. When the time is right, that person will still be there. But I'm begging you, please make sure you're over your past before you walk into the future with someone else. But until next time, guys.
So she dropped this video, and she's pretty much telling everybody, y'all heard what she's saying, that she's, she can't deal with it. And at this particular time, like I said, on the outside looking in, I'm still remembering the nasty thing that Love by Erica said to her. I'm still sitting up here remembering, like, dang, Erica broke these people up. She broke up with Crier because of this. I am sitting here like, I cannot believe it. I'm like, y'all broke up because of this? Like, Toy, you gonna give your man up because of this? So she just pretty much walked away. And I was like, damn, she is one strong bee. Because I was just like, man, I wish I had that ability to up and leave and walk away from a situation when it does me like that. Like, she just threw everything away. And I was just like, dang, for that. But then I was thinking to myself, like, that really probably hurt her. Telling somebody something so personal, so vulnerable about yourself, and then they go tell they toxic ex, and you like, I know he didn't. I know he didn't just tell her that. So I'm still watching this video as you guys was. I feel so sorry for her. And then she starts going around doing interviews, which left me to scratch my head like, okay, what? Okay, you and Damien broke up. You don't want to be a YouTuber. Why are you doing this interview? So she did these interviews. And guys, there's a lot of interviews out there. If you want to go check out this interview, I'm just going to insert a clip. Now, back when she did this interview, Love Lies and Lace Fran, shout out to Fran. If you guys want to watch that interview, y'all can go to Fran channel. I insert a link below. But I'm just going to play a tiny clip of this in this video. Fran pretty much asked her how she met Crier. Now, she said she met Crier in the academy, right? She met Crying Academy. She was in a shopping for her son. Y'all just listen to the clip.
We're in academy sports with your kids, or you were with your son and your daughter?
I was by myself. I was shopping for my
Okay,
son.
so you were shopping for yourself. What were you buying?
I was by my son. He loves Nike and Champion. He's addicted to Champion. So they had a sale, so I was there buying some stuff for them.
Smart shopper too. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We have to save so we can buy the expensive things. Okay, so you're in academy sports, and what happened?
So you know how you feel someone staring at you? So I kept feeling someone staring at me. So I looked up, and it was I don't want to say, a man looking at me. So, but every time I made eye contact, he would just put his head back down. So I didn't pay it any mind.
Was like, oh.
Yeah, so I didn't pay it any mind. So I just continued shopping. When I was getting ready to leave, that man finally approached me. He approached me. We were talking as we were walking around the store and walked out the store. And he asked for my phone number, but I didn't exchange phone number. I gave him my social media, my Instagram.
So you exchanged social media. You exchanged at least an email address. And then what happened?
So I started to get a whole bunch of likes on the pictures on my Instagram. Literally, like every picture was getting liked by the same person. So I accepted his friend request because mine wasn't private.
So in the video, you heard that she said that she met Crying Academy. She was shopping for her son. This guy was checking her out. She provided him her Instagram, and then he started liking all her photos. You guys heard that. So she did that interview. She was doing several interviews. She did several interviews. She did another interview with Ms.Leda. And if you guys want to hear it or see J. Michael do his commentary on that, I'll drop a link below, because J. Michael still had the interview up on his channel, and you can go listen to it. So anyway, Ms.Leda asked her that same exact question. How did her and Mr. Cryer meet? And she said the same story as she said on Love, Lies, and Lace Frame.
Now, how long have you known Mr. Cryer, and when did you guys first meet?
I met Cryer, that was March. I met him in March of this year. I met him in March at Academy. We talked for a week, but then we stopped talking. We stopped talking because he did inform me he had just got out of the relationship. He was trying to clear all that up. And then we started back talking again July 4th.
Ms.Leda go into another question. She's saying someone actually sent me a photo of you commenting on one of Damien's photos from 2020.
Now, did you have any knowledge of who Cryer was beforehand?
No, not beforehand. Like I said, I've never even been on YouTube at all. I did not know who Cryer was.
Now, someone sent me a picture, and it was a picture of Mr. Cryer in a hotel room in Indiana, and it's dated August 25th of 2020, and it's where you had actually commented on, he was talking about a storm in Indiana, and that he hoped you posted that you hope it passed Houston. Do you remember that?
Not at all.
Okay.
Do you remember that? And she pretty much like, no, I don't remember that. I didn't even know Damien before that. I don't remember. I don't recall. Now, guys, I went to Damien Instagram, and these photos are still there, but I'm insert some pictures of what's going on Instagram. Okay, I'm gonna insert some clips, so just hang tight. Here we go. As you guys just saw in the last clip, she in fact did know Damien. She knew Damien before she actually met him in Academy. Now, if you guys go look at those photos and the photos that I actually showed you on Damien Instagram, he clearly shows his YouTube channel as well as a YouTube symbol. And he's taking a picture with his son. So if you know the Prince family, you're gonna know Damien. You're gonna know Damien Cryer because he has those photos as well on his Instagram. So on his Instagram, if you look at several of the photos, if you're seeing photos on his timeline, you're gonna actually, or his news feed, I don't even know what it's called, y'all. I'm on Instagram, but I'm not on Instagram. So if you actually following him and you seen that particular photo, you're gonna see the other photos. You're gonna see him with the logo on it. You're gonna see him with the Prince family. But anyway, she have commented under several photos. And the one that actually stood out the most was the one that I just showed you guys of baby Dion laying on the bed, and they had the sign by it saying the Crier family, the Crier baby. And she actually said he's so handsome like his dad. And then a few more pictures up above that, Dion probably, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months, she commented under that picture as well. And that was in 2021. So she's been knowing this man for an entire year. She knew him before she actually met him at Academy. So my question to you guys is, this lady has been following Damien and been commenting under their pictures long before she met him at Academy. And she just magically met him in Academy. They ended up together. Now she's on YouTube. So y'all see what I'm saying with this? Y'all trying to say that Erica is the problem? This lady has been watching them on YouTube, has been following Damien, knows that he likes young girls, and she been trying to shoot her shot like over and over again, and so she just placed herself where he was. And that is, and she want to get on here and call Love by Erica sick and crazy and all this other stuff. No, I ain't gonna even get into that, y'all. I'm just gonna keep going so I can prove it to you guys. So anyway, she said that she didn't know him. That was a lie. So going on into it, after her and Damien broke up, she went to her channel saying that she didn't want to be a YouTuber, but she's actually capitalizing off of this right now because she knows that people look at her as this positive, inspirational person. And like I said, at this particular time, when those interviews start dropping and people start researching her and figuring out for her for who she really was, it started making me like, hold up, wait a minute. You being like, you moving real funny. For you to break up with Crier over something so silly. Well, I'm not going to say something silly. I would be mad at him, but I don't think I would have probably broke up with him. I didn't think it was something that deemed them to like break up. So that kind of had me scratching my head. I'm like, dang, you going to get a man another chance? But like I say, some people have that ability to just walk away. So anyway, that was one thing. And then when she did the interview on Fran channel and saying that she met Crier at Academy and saying that she didn't know him prior to that. So I didn't, at that time when she did the interview, I didn't know she was lying until Leda did the other interview and they pretty much said that she did know Crier back in 2020. But anyway, that was one thing. And then people were saying that she wasn't a nurse. So after all that, I don't know if it was before these interviews or after that, she started dropping videos on her YouTube channel. She did a Q&A. And I want to say this is after everything had happened. I can't remember, guys. But I want to say she did a Q&A. Because order does matter. I got to get this right. Order does matter. Order does matter. So, I want to say that she dropped her Q&A before she did the interview. So, she dropped her Q&A. I'm going to have to go back because order does matter. So, she dropped her Q&A. And in this Q&A, she's actually mentioned the fact that she was too abused by her ex-husband. Y'all remember that? She was abused by her ex-husband. So she kind of sympathized with people being battered. That was something that was near and dear to her heart, right? So she mentioned that. And she also, someone asked her a question about her fallopian tube or how she lost her fallopian tube. And I'm going to show y'all a clip because this was going to get real juicy. This was going to get real juicy.
Y'all wanted to know, why do I only have one fallopian tube? In 2000, I think that was 2015, I had a birth control in after I gave birth to my son in 2013. I had the birth control to prevent having any babies, but it was 2014 or 2015. I'm not sure which year. It was my first year at the hospital, so 2014. 2014. No, I'm sorry, that was 2015. I'm sorry, I messed up one time. But my first year at my job that I work at now, I ended up finding out I was pregnant. Only because me and an employee, we had free time, we had no patients. And like I told you, I was working at the hospital I work for now in the urgent care. So between me and my friend, my coworker at the time, not having no patients, she thought she was pregnant. So she was scared to take a test. So while we were free and had downtime, I was like, come on, girl, take a test. I'll take one with you, but I know I'm not pregnant. So I took a test with her. Hers came back negative. And mine came back positive.
Wow.
Mine came back positive. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, how is this possible? Like, I have an IUD and there's no way possible. So I ran to the doctor I work for and I was like, Dr. Hawk, why is this saying positive? What is this? And so I explained to him, I'm like, I have an IUD. And he was like, no, you need to clock out and go across the street to the hospital now. So that's what I did. I clocked out. I went to the hospital. They did the ultrasound and they found out I was pregnant. I was 6 weeks pregnant. The only problem that I had is right then and there is when that hospital should have pulled my IUD out. But they didn't. So the following week, I was at work at the hospital, the medical center. And while I was there, me and my coworker, I still call her my big sister, actually, we was walking. And I just started getting some real bad cramps and pains. And I was just holding on to my stomach. I'm like, oh my God, like something's wrong. And then when I seen the blood, that's when it was like, come on, you have to go to the emergency room. You have to go to the emergency room. I called my husband at the time, no answer. So I called my mom and I told my mom, so she came rushing to the hospital. And come to find out, my tube ruptured. The baby was 6 weeks. And, of course, your fallopian tube, well, I don't want to explain like this, but your fallopian tubes go like this out of your uterus. So the baby was stuck inside of the tube, and the tubes are only like this big, literally.
Wow.
But my baby was stuck in the tube, and it ruptured the tube. So I had to have emergency surgery because I could have bled internally, and they had to remove my baby and my right tube. I only have my left fallopian tube. Like I informed you all, I can still get pregnant. It's just, it makes it more difficult for that.
So as you guys see, she said that she was at the doctor's office. They didn't have any patients. And she took a pregnancy test and was sent to the hospital where she found out she was 6 weeks pregnant. And they did an ultrasound. Right? So when you go to the doctor's office and they do an ultrasound, I'm pretty sure they did a vaginal ultrasound to determine that you were 6 weeks pregnant. So you have an IUD into your uterus, because that's where your IUD go, inside your uterus. So if they did an ultrasound, a vaginal ultrasound, and saw that you were 6 weeks pregnant, which means that they had to see the baby inside your uterus. That means that they saw the sac that the baby was inside your uterus, as well as the IUD, because the IUD is inserted into your uterus, or it can slip and get into your cervix. I'm not a doctor, I just did my research. So, and y'all, I'm sorry, if y'all see me looking up and looking around, it's because it's so hard for me to look at the camera and I get cross-eyed. So that's why I have to look around, because it feels weird just... Okay, so anyway, you said that you had an IUD and they told you to go to the emergency room immediately. And they did an ultrasound, which I'm assuming they did a vaginal ultrasound, right? Right. And if they did that vaginal ultrasound, they would have saw that your IUD was inside your uterus, or it may have slipped and went to your cervix. So if they determined that you was 6 weeks pregnant, which means that they had to see a baby inside your uterus to determine that you was 6 weeks pregnant. Because number two, no, go back, Alicia. You skipping one, you didn't get the one yet. So number one, if you have an IUD, the first thing they're going to do is remove that IUD out of your uterus, right? If you are in fact pregnant, if they see a baby inside your uterus, they would have removed that. Because if they would have left that IUD inside of you, it would have caused, or it was something else, but it wasn't the baby moving inside your tube. See, at this particular time when you told this, it didn't make sense until I actually listened to it again. You said that you later then lost your fallopian tube because the baby had gotten into your tube. So, I mean, I don't mean to say that I'm a rocket scientist, but I'm pretty sure that when you did the ultrasound and they saw that you were 6 weeks pregnant, there's no way that you could have had a rupture of your tube, because when you did that ultrasound, they wouldn't have saw a baby inside your uterus. They would in fact have saw that there was no baby inside your uterus, which would have told them that the baby was outside of your uterus, or inside your tube, and then they would have did some kind of emergency precaution to prevent you from losing one of your tubes. So baby, you are in fact lying, because there's no way that the baby can go from your uterus to your tubes and cause you to lose your fallopian tube. So I don't know who you think we is, but we ain't that dumb. See, it didn't make sense to me when you said it the last time that you went to the doctor. You did an ultrasound, you was 6 weeks pregnant, and then you was walking and you felt, girl, stop. But you want to call Love by Erica the liar? Come on now. Come on. Because if you had an IUD, it is inserted in your uterus. There's no, like, girl, who you think we is? And if you were 6 weeks pregnant and they did an ultrasound, they would have saw the baby. There's no way the baby is gonna, that ain't gonna do that. If they wouldn't have saw a baby, you wouldn't have left. You wouldn't have left. They would have did blood tests, all kind of stuff to determine where this baby at. Maybe you were too early to be pregnant, but don't try to use that. Don't try to use what I just said, because that's what you do. You take what other people said and you try to make it your own. But if you was a nurse, you would know that. I'm not a nurse, but I do know that there's no way that you could be 6 weeks pregnant with a baby inside your uterus, as well as your IUD, and then weeks later, the baby goes back into your tubes and you lose one of your tubes. Like, girl, are you being for real right now? But you're a nurse. You're going to school. Where are you getting it from? Because, I mean, clearly, I am not a nurse, but I know that. So what excuse are you going to use now that you're pregnant with this baby? Are you going to say that same story? Are you going to come up with that? What miscarriage story are you going to use? Because I know y'all probably saying, Alicia, you being wrong, but no, I'm not. Y'all have to listen to what this lady is saying. She's coming on here and torturing somebody who's really pregnant over and over again, and has came into this lady's life and disrupted several times about being pregnant. Now that's a lie that we didn't even pick up on at this particular time, amongst all the other lies that I just said before that, y'all. And it gets deeper. We can keep going and going and going, because I got more receipts. But I'm just saying, for you to come on here to be upset at Love by Erica and break up with Crier for something that wasn't even true in the first place. It's not even true. And now that you're pregnant with this baby, you're saying that you had one fallopian tube, which I just determined that was a lie. And now you're saying that you went to IVF and you're pregnant now and you have an incompetent cervix. Let me explain something to you. From someone who had an incompetent cervix, all 3 of my babies were birthed. I had to get a cerclage into my cervix at about 18, 20 weeks. I had to have that with all my kids. I even had to take medicine so I wouldn't contract. So for you to, let me tell you what you're going to do now, because I know you're going to try to come up with some kind of story of how you had a miscarriage, because I know you're not pregnant. I know you're not, because you were just doing exercise 2 months ago. You was just sitting at home saying that you was not going to have a baby 2 months ago. You was taking diet medicine 2 months ago. And let me just pull up something from the internet to show you guys that you're not supposed to be doing any of that. So what is your excuse going to be this time? Because an incompetent cervix, you don't just have miscarriages with an incompetent cervix unless you get to 4, 5 months and you have contractions and your cervix dilates, and then you have to have the baby. Then that's a reason for you to miscarriage. You'll probably use that one. What will your miscarriage story be? Because clearly, I don't believe anything that you say. You want to come on here and create all this chaos and drama between someone who actually have a baby by your husband. For what? Because you are that miserable and unhappy with yourself that you got to come on here and do somebody else like that? Like, come on. It's another thing for you and Love by Erica to go back and forth, but they actually have a real baby involved. And you did it with Crier. You made him put himself on child support. You keep saying that she wants child support. If that was the case,
Little Roach has just decided to drop a video about me and my fiance. So I hear a lot of lies, This person tends to lie so much, it's disgusting. You're upset right now because you got into it yesterday with one of your baby daddies, only because the man wants a freaking DNA test so he can put himself on child support. What is so wrong with that? We stay in Texas, sweetheart. You have to have a DNA test in order to put yourself on child support. The court system needs it. So what is so wrong? You just keep popping out kids to try to get child support from all your baby daddies. But I'm pretty sure that ain't working either, huh? How much you getting so far? Oh, yeah, not enough. That's why your gas is always off, your lights always off. You got to get kicked out of places.
If that was the case, she would have been ran to the courthouse and got child support, honey. They don't want child support. You want that to be the only thing that they have to rely on. You don't want them to co-parent. You want them to solely rely on child support. And that's completely wrong. But for you to sit on here, baby, I got more receipts. But what's your miscarriage story gonna be this time? Because that one that you said on that video, baby, you're a nurse, allegedly. We have yet to find the proof of that. But